It began with 3 pillars, the foundation for UW Esports, pushing ourselves to greater heights.
Community.
Career.
Competition.
Oh yeah. Reminds me of Toronto Defiant Yakpung. Reminiscent of that, of just juggling everyone into the corner there.
Maybe that'll be the game changer here for UW.
Maybe. Oh my goodness! What an angle by Wizard!
Wow. What a shot.
Welcome everyone to the 2024 Big Esports Conference playoffs. We are about to watch our own University of Washington VALORANT team go up against the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in the VALORANT West Division 3rd place match. As the season of the BEC West comes to a close, we wanted to thank our viewers for supporting our dogs in their debut in the season, this season in the Big Esports Conference. We hope you enjoy being a part of our community, and we invite you to get more involved as well. Follow us here on Twitch or catch up to our Instagram and YouTube, both of which are at UofW Esports. Now, I'm Braden. I'm currently a senior at the University of Washington.
And my name is Leah, currently a junior at the University of Washington. Remember, if you guys want to get involved with UW Esports, we are always looking for more volunteers. You can type !volunteer in the chat to find the interest form and see what roles might be a good fit for you. Keep an eye out for upcoming workshops and other exciting opportunities with us here at UW Esports. Looks like our match is about to start soon. We are excited to get into it. I am quite interested to see how the ping nerfs will take shape here.
So if you see in the lobby here that our first map is going to be on Haven, and we are going to have the University of Washington being on the attacking side.
Excellent. Again, UW, no stranger to this map. Always a go-to pick for us. However, it will be interesting to see this time around with the neon nerfs that just hit the game today. Looks like we're getting into it. We'll see if this agent comp.
Last time I had the pleasure of being a caster for the UW VALORANT Esports, they were actually playing on Haven as one of their maps, and it went incredibly well. You could even say that it was slightly one-sided back in the spring or the winter of last year. And yeah, it was just exciting to watch just their overwhelming presence on this map and how quick and accelerated they are in different parts.
Absolutely, UW loves this map. Now, it looks like we do have a change from prior matches. We are not running the neon on this map for UW, instead opting for the jet.
And what were the big changes that may have prompted UW to make this change in their comp?
Well, neon received a pretty large nerf. Slide got decreased from 2 slides down to 1. Ult is now 8 ult points instead of 7, and in addition, it only lasts for half the time unless you get a refresh. I think the accuracy of the gun pullout after the slide has also been nerfed. So she's all around just not as strong of an agent as she has been the past couple months.
And especially on a larger map, this is obviously a 3-site map. The nerfs to that timing can be a huge concern when taking gunfights or even just trying to get from place to place. So obviously a pretty big impact even for this map as well.
Absolutely. It does appear that the rest of the comp is the same as we have seen. However, everyone is on. There are some switches on who is playing what role. Asa, who usually played Neon, is now on Sova, and Benny, who has been playing Sova, is on Jet.
Obviously, there are a lot of really fun things that both of those agents can do here on the map. Sova being able to throw out that dart. There's a lot of open, like long open spaces, so that dart can get a lot of information. throughout the map. And then the Jet, obviously, there's a lot of updraft spots that are really sneaky in different parts on Haven, where you can sometimes, you know, do some crazy things with her ult specifically.
Absolutely. I love the verticality on this map. Looks like opting for a bit of a default here. Maybe leaning towards C through garage.
It's important to note that the Cypher did put his setup around the C site, which could make it a little bit trickier to take the site, or at least UW will have a little bit of extra difficulties looking on there because the other side will have that information in advance.
The UW, no stranger to fighting this setup here on C. This is a pretty common setup that they use in their own defense half.
It's a really quick plant coming through, a 1-for-1 at the same time there, being traded at different parts of the map.
Absolutely, a 4v4 retake for Nebraska. Zodi grabs one.
Smoke's making it very difficult to navigate different parts of the site, but UW is having great success right now.
Benny and Kazodi both find their second. I think the Reyna for Nebraska there may have been a little bit lost.
And again, navigating around those smokes, there was the Jet smoke initially to get onto the site, and then as we saw there going into the retake, there were multiple Omen smokes out on the site, making it very difficult to kind of walk around them. Maybe UW a little bit more familiar with those smoke setups and ready and prepared for defending that site post-plant.
Absolutely. Looks like second round looking towards C here. With a split through garage.
Now the site itself is actually empty right now. They don't have anybody sitting on it. Only the Cypher camera watching it, and then the Omen smoke's down as well.
And UW seems to have this read. Going in fast.
Ooh, just missed the Cypher in the smoke there.
Yeah, might be a timing here. Sailor finds two immediately.
One enemy
That's-
remaining.
Kazodi, Elijah both get their one.
With the Ares as well. Again, just excellent aiming there. Making sure that the crosshair stayed on the heads and moving from head to head there without even stopping the spray was just very excellently done there.
Absolutely, and the Ares did receive a bit of a buff somewhat recently, making it very strong gun for that second round buy.
Got a little bit of a different posturing here over towards the A site this time rather than the C site in the first two rounds. We'll see how this plays out for them.
Yes, this is Nebraska's buy round, so this would be a very impactful round for UW to win.
Jet with just the Sheriff here.
Benny seems to suspect one is waiting for him close.
Crosshair is in just the right spot on the other side. Ooh, but they are able to get the kill there with the Vandal.
Indeed, just outgunned there. Elijah does get the trade, but unfortunately Sailor will fall.
Oh, and with the rotation there from the Cypher over towards the B site, again, that was sniffed out excellently on the other side there. Just ready to be aware of that play, especially when a Cypher likes to do that kind of thing. And being able to pick it off to create a 4v2.
But again, this round is not over. 2v4. UW has plant down. And Asa might have a timing here. They've doubled up garage. Elijah
That
with
is a
one.
Player standing.
Just Elijah alone, 4 HP. And he will fall.
Just some excellent gunfighting at the start of the round on the side of Montana. You know, being there in both sides of the A entrances, being able to get the picks just through just better gunplay at that point. They just excellently done. They had the quicker speed and were able to execute the 2 early picks.
UW is going to be back on a bye here. That wasn't a terrible bonus round for them. They got plant down and they got a couple of guns out of Nebraska's hands. Looks like they're leaning back towards C. That is what has worked for them.
Ooh,
Benny
the
is
KO
going to
knife
get suppressed.
does give them a pretty good idea that they were initially postured towards C.
Kazodi will fall. Elijah
Got you.
sniffs out that flank. Looks like they're leaning towards A here.
I don't think that drone caught the Reyna though.
I don't think it did either. Sailor sees the trip.
Shadows traveling.
There is still the Cypher on site, and they are not aware of this just yet. They are able
Sailor.
to finally pick it up.
Benny knows there's one A link here. And again, like we were saying, that verticality on this map.
Scanning ahead.
Currently
This
have
is-
a 4v3 with lesser people available for the retake here.
Yes, looks good for UW here.
Perfect.
They play safe and keep their numbers advantage, and they win this
One
round.
enemy remaining.
An excellent peek there as well.
Be at rest.
Knowing that you have the Odin and you can just go back undercover there and spam through the pillar
A bow
is
and arrow
just
is old-fashioned.
a very heads-up play
Sometimes
on
old
the part of
ways
Mesa
are
there.
best.
Just being ready and like, hey, no, I have the higher wall penetration here. I can just scout and see if you're there, and then I can make the play afterwards.
Absolutely, and especially on Sova, that gun is just so strong. Looking at the scoreboard here, it looks like Sailor is on top for UW with 5-1, and additionally there are 2 Nebraska players who have yet to find their first.
Ooh, really aggressive play here by Benny. That was a dangerous time to look away, but thankfully his teammate did have him covered there, ready to go. Clearing out the site awfully quickly here on the entrance. Utilizing the smokes to make it very difficult for Montana to come back in.
Spike down A.
They are still up numbers, even with Asa falling.
Excellent job there too by the Cypher. I do not believe he even had the vision on that. He just took the standard
One
hit spot
enemy
and
remaining.
did shoot his sheriff in a spot that did hit the headshot and get the kill.
Kazodi with 4 gets robbed of his ace. Score is 4-1. UW is up in numbers. Yeah, beautiful 4K from Kazodi there. Love to see that Sentinel on attack fragging out. Looks like going for another aggressive A hit here. Elijah finds the first.
Off your feet!
Breach ult is coming through here as well. Ooh, and lots of blinds. This is gonna make it pretty difficult for UW to stay on site here.
I know exactly.
Benny just absolutely getting util dub.
One
Blinded
enemy
twice. 2v1.
They do not know where he is.
He has been flanking quite a few rounds though, so they do seem to have the read that he could potentially be flank.
And then the Lear there is gonna give it away.
remaining. Last player standing.
There they are.
Just Asa.
Excellent aim there as well on the part of Karai, taking 2 really unfavorable fights there, but still managing to hit the headshots on both of them with 15 health remaining, clutching up the round and making it 2-4.
UW still in the lead here. Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate round there for UW, but it does happen.
Here.
Be interesting to see if
That goes
we
there.
see them go back towards the seaside again, where they felt a little bit more comfortable. Even in the round where they were outnumbered, they were still getting some picks there as they were trying to defend the site. And
Looks
again,
like
we're seeing a lot
Asa.
of early aggression, very, very early in the round, using the Odin for that.
That is how UW loves to play on this map.
The thing about spraying all these spots and trying to get some wallbang picks here is that they're also making noise on a lot of different parts of the map too, which is bound to cause some sort of confusion as to where they might exactly be posturing towards.
And UW does seem to have the read that A could be a potential option for them here. Benny far up in long.
You do see some members starting to rotate back over. They do not know if they're on the site though, so they're hesitant to enter the site.
Benny is suppressed. But they do have the site. Now it's a
playing
matter
out
of
with this
can
guy.
they keep it. Elijah with one.
There they are.
There is an off heaven.
One
Asa
enemy remaining.
contests.
Traded out for the Phantom,
bringing up
but
body bags?
just wasn't quite enough even with the second kill there.
Yeah, Elijah, beautiful 4K there. A great flick from that CT to heaven.
I can definitely agree with that. He was getting a lot of different kills from a lot of different parts on the map, so that was just different parts of the site, and was still able to execute, was still able to understand where they were peeking and when, and have the excellent aim, get them right on the head, finish them up nice and quick.
Absolutely, and Elijah, definitely a very strong player on this map. If they're ever on an eco, you'll notice the hero rifle is typically in his hands, just because he is such a good player on this map. They do hear the presence garage.
Deleted.
Kazodi finds the first blood.
Cage triggered.
Seems to have an idea that there might be a second person there,
They found
Oh.
one.
and then that will give it away that there is a maximum of 3 players over towards the C site, which gives UW a lot of comfort in attacking that right now.
Spike down.
Here's the presence
C.
garage. Elijah finds one, trading out Asa. Zodi finds a second.
It's really
Bomb will
important being
go
able
down.
to pick up the flank pick there as well, because now you feel a lot more comfortable about there not being another one back there, and now you're looking more towards 2
One
different
enemy
entry points
remaining.
instead of a third one.
Taylor getting a little greedy for that kill there. Closes out the round, 6-2. Yeah, that was a really great pick there from Kazodi on the flank, waiting out that Reyna, taking her down, getting them numbers. And I believe the Reyna is Nebraska's top frag at the moment. So taking out their strong players first, very important to winning the round. Looks like Nebraska struggling to get their buy here.
A lot of light shields on the other side there. It's going to make it pretty tricky to play into any Phantom users.
Yes, and if they lose this round, they will be sent into an eco. UW leaning towards C. Spots out one on B site. Ooh, Benny with
That
a
is
great spam through that smoke.
Critical pick as well, as they could choose to go through that and get access to spawn if they wish.
Yeah, the great thing about this early aggression here is picking up those numbers makes every round just that much easier.
And the Breachel is going to catch another one and make that pick almost free at that point, which does give them a 5v3 on the B site here.
Droning out, they do suspect one is a Link. Chasing him up through heaven.
Sailor in a really good spot here right now.
One enemy remaining.
Does
Team
find the first
ace.
one.
And it's a team ace. Every player on UW gets their one.
And I think that's just a result of just excellent coordination from there. We saw that there were multiple team members trying to almost distract and grab the attention of the various Nebraska players, and at the same time, other ones were creeping up from other angles. Just no place was safe there for them. Just an excellent job there by UW.
Absolutely, and using that utility to help their teammates find kills. For example, that breach ult allowed Asa to get a kill, and the drone allowed UW to take out that Cypher. Again, first blood to UW. Green sight.
I know exactly where you are.
Neural theft will go out. They do know
found
where
my
all the
riot.
Nebraska players are.
Critically, nobody was on the flank there, and so they do know that they only have to watch the 2 standard entry points or retake here on the site.
Blocking sight.
It is a 4v2. UW is up numbers.
One enemy remaining.
And just one left. Doesn't seem keen on contesting and will be taken down. And that gives UW their 8th round on the board.
Again, just an excellent job of being super aggressive there, spotting out the Omen on the back of the seaside and immediately winning the gunfight, and then using that as a go trigger to just send everybody over the site. I really like the Cypher ultimate on top of it, again, showing that they had no reason to worry about the back entrance from which they came. And so again, just being able to watch those 2 choke points in a 5v4, really huge advantage to them there.
Absolutely. Again, looking for this default, playing for picks, playing for that first blood.
A lot of spamming through the smoke here on the C long.
And Asa does get quite a bit of damage there. You'll note the jet is half health. And Elijah secures that first blood on the Reyna.
And that half health really came in handy there, as the Odin was able to spray him down, now creating a 5v2 for the side of the attackers.
Sailor hitting that Omen diff. Bit of a risky gambit there.
You have to
But
respect
UW
the
is-
effort. It would have been
Yeah.
a really fun play.
Absolutely, and UW is still up numbers.
Blocking sight.
Benny getting aggressive here. Seems to think better of it. Here's shots from CT. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going for a save here. This is their bye round, and we know they can't afford for next. So these 2 players might just be opting to save these guns.
Yeah, I think the other critical thing is that you see that they do currently have 3 ultimates up, so saving the 2 guns for a round where they might be able to, especially in last round of the half here, be able to use all 3 of their
Last
ultimates
round in
and
the
still have
half.
the resources to get themselves guns is going to be really important here if they want to pick out a 3rd win here in this first half.
Absolutely, and looking at those numbers, they really did need both of those guns. Light shields on most of the players here.
Perhaps
Or
none
no
on the
shields.
Reyna.
Yeah.
If you're going to have no shields on anyone, it is going to be on the Reyna, as all you do need is a pick and you can get yourself that extra little bit of health.
Benny pops knives here. Looks like an aggressive hit.
No target block.
So much util. And for once, it's Nebraska with the first blood. Absolutely just util dumping on Benny there.
And they haven't used any of their ults yet either, and critically, they just got the Reyna ult up here as well with that pick right there. They have all 4 ults up in a 5v3 here on the last round of the half. It's looking pretty good for them.
Asa will pop his ult,
Last
hoping to
player
even out these
standing.
numbers.
Spike down. C.
Unfortunately, it's
Clean
not going to
ace.
happen. Yeah, flawless round there for Nebraska.
sides.
That puts their 3rd round on the board.
You're not getting the message. Leave it to me, I'll rough them up.
Now UW back on defense here.
We'll see if the other side chooses to go for an equally
this is
aggressive
a nice
approach on the pistol rounds here, or if they're going to take it a little bit slower and see if they can gauge the map a little bit, see maybe what UW is going to be doing on defense here.
Looks like a pretty classic defense split from UW. Kazodi and Benny over here holding C in garage. These two are a devious duo. Elijah with the first.
Who we see
Pushing out. Benny with the second. 4v2.
One enemy remaining.
4v1.
Down mid.
I'm thinking worse.
And Elijah with the third.
I suspect that we may be seeing a little bit of double-sided attack here from UW. I think that they're feeling it at this point, and we've seen it before on Haven. Again, you said it before, it's a map that they're super comfortable on, that they're very aggressive on, and that doesn't have to be limited to just the attacking side. We often see them going out and peeking very aggressively as a defenders as well.
Absolutely. Benny here with this outlaw.
I really love the round 2 outlaw buys, especially when you know that none of them are really going to have that heavy armor yet. You know that if you're able to get the hit, it is going to kill them no matter what. And when they're running through choke points like this, it's so likely that you're going to hit at least one person.
Looks like Nebraska
Spike
going
planted.
for a very fast strategy here. They suppress the Cypher, run in, and plant. Benny with one.
It's a
3v3
here.
retake.
Last player standing.
Just Kazodi alone. This KO is
One
very
enemy
low.
remaining.
Just barely dodges that.
Cage
Cypher
trigger.
1v1. And Kazodi clutching out that 1v2.
Just a really great placement of the Cypher cage there.
Forget,
Really being able
I
to
always play high stakes.
provide a dual threat of either defusing the bomb for
Give me a
real
moment.
from a relatively safe space or from peeking around it. Just makes it very difficult to decide on the side of the attackers whether or not you want to approach it or just call the fake. Just really well placed there on that cage.
Absolutely, and I think a bit of a misstep there on the part of Nebraska for not breaking that cam in garage when they had the chance. Very integral part of UW winning that round.
It definitely gave them a lot of information as to who was still where, especially once that 3v3 was initiated. They saw 2 of the 3 in the garage and they were like, okay, we know that there's only the one on the site, and they already knew exactly where the KO was. That outlaw shot did hit the Omen.
Oops.
And Benny does secure that kill. Does have these regen shields. Does think there may be one more here.
Wasn't quite able to sniff it out. They are still posturing towards A, so they should see them here soon, one way or another.
Yikes.
And that's a second for Benny.
They are going
Hoping
to
for that
continue
third.
pushing.
Yeah, I don't know if I quite understand the strategy of continuing to push this outlaw. But I guess it does work out for them.
A couple of really close shots there too.
Bit of a risky gambit. You have Elijah with one.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. Spike
Nearly
down A.
misses that Cypher there, but does find him. 3v1. And
Do you see some
Kazodi
of the
closes
audio
out.
cues? Some of the audio cues coming in clutch there.
Yes.
Understanding that, whoa, maybe the one that I killed in the smoke wasn't the one that I blinded when Breach said blinded, you know?
Absolutely. It is now match point for UW. 12-3. They just need one final round to close it out.
There's a lot of Guardians on the other side there. Couple of regen shields, couple of light shields. Nothing to lose from buying the slightly more expensive shields here, as it would be the last round if they do end up losing.
I see some head dings from Benny. Unfortunately, they are wall bangs. Asa with one.
Last
A really
player
well played
standing.
split there between the window and the boxes on the part of Nebraska, really diverting the attention of UW two different ways, making it extremely difficult for them to actually challenge those fights, even though they got off to the early health lead.
Spike down, C.
Sailor with two.
And the spike. That's the most critical piece here.
Shadows traveling.
We do know that the Jet here is 1 HP. Sailor, unsure of where they're coming from, but they do need to get this bomb if they want to win the round.
That's going to provide a lot of information as to where they might be teleporting back out into mid there.
Yeah, Sailor seems to have read this,
Not ready
giving
yet.
up that bomb, allowing them
Cover
to take
going
it
out.
back, knowing they'll
30
probably go
seconds
back
left.
to C.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, so close there. Bit of a whiff from Sailor. It does happen.
A really smart play, though, nonetheless. Very, very heads up knowing that they were coming from where they were coming from, especially after teleporting back out in the mid and seeing no signs of them whatsoever. Knowing that they can only be in one spot, which would be coming from the spawn, and then putting himself in a position where he knows based on the time that they have to go back to that C site, like you said, and being ready for that.
Absolutely. The brains were absolutely there. The aim just not quite there to match.
Though in a 1v4, the odds were not really in his favor in the first place, so he still
Yeah.
did do an excellent job.
Absolutely. And taking those guns away, also super critical.
Don't know that there's one here.
I know.
Kazodi gets that trade. UW Elijah.
Everyone hiding.
3v3 retake.
Popping those to see if they can finish things up here.
Last player standing. One enemy
Just
remaining.
Asa left with this Ares.
Spraying in a really great spot, but unfortunately the Reyna was on the other side of the boxes there and did get the final laugh there.
Indeed. 1v1s with this Reyna just not swinging UW's way. Still match point. If Nebraska wants to win, they will still need 7 rounds here to even get them to overtime. Looks like UW on a bit of a save here.
It's a bit of a mixed spot. They have a little bit of everything here. They're probably like, okay, we can save if we want to, but also if we want to see if we can just force the game to end, then we can still try that as well. No harm in
That
mixing up
single
their recon
rifle,
here.
again, in Elijah's hands. Benny somehow dinking everyone and finding no kills. But does get 3 players down to very low HP, 1 shot
No
range.
healing available as well, so outside of the Reyna's self-sustain, so it is going to put them in pretty dangerous territory here. Even in a 5v4, could be a little deceptive.
Indeed, Benny jump peeking, trying to spot him out, suspects they're still here. Elijah will fall.
Last player standing.
Benny with 2, just Sailor alone. Has the judge.
Spike planted.
The KO is 1 HP.
I do like the jump peek there when you do have the judge available to you in the face of an ulted Reyna. Just a little bit unfortunate, very heads up play there and ready on the aim to get the immediate head tap to secure the final kill there.
Absolutely. Again, match point for UW. Looking to close out here, back on a bye.
Hit them fast, hit them hard.
I think they just need to return to what they've been doing all game, go for something aggressive, and close it out.
Love that sound.
This Odin. It is a very nice sounding Odin. Elijah does catch the presence grass. Repositioning.
A little bit of a slower round here compared to all of the other ones that we've seen so far.
UW not offering up picks, as I believe Nebraska wants them to.
The Cypher is up a little bit closer than the... There we go. Just not quite expecting that. Did not see the initial lurk up through the smoke while the smoke was down and was watching the long boxes angle instead of the close one.
Sailor with 1. Will get traded. It's a 3v4.
Out of
Elijah with 1.
Spike down, C. One enemy remaining.
Elijah with 2.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
And a 1v1 with this Reyna yet again.
The Reyna is just avoiding the bullets from UW. Like... And there you have it.
Defenders win.
But luckily, Benny closing it out. All right, excellent match there on Haven. Quite a fun one to watch. Nebraska definitely put up a good effort, but unfortunately, UW is just on top.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of a harder time there from UW when they were on the defense side of things, but just some really excellent play when they were on the attackers. And again, it's definitely one of their strong points here, being very, very aggressive on Haven and just being ready for any sort of things that might be coming their way or any sort of defense that might be mounted on the side of Nebraska.
Absolutely. And very interesting to see that jet there where we usually see the neon. Worked out very well for UW. Yeah, Benny definitely put up the numbers, and Asa did wonderful on the initiator role.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to the Reyna on the side of Nebraska as well, because, man, just doing a really, really great job of, holding out in some very critical rounds there as they were starting to pull back and fighting some great gunfights, even just isolated gunfights, and even a couple of ones where they were outnumbered and still managing to pull through, keeping them in the game for an additional 4 rounds there on the attacker's side. Just excellently done.
Absolutely. So it looks like our next map here is going to be Split.
This is personally my favorite map. There may be a little bit of bias in there because of the fact that it was one of the initial maps. So...
Yeah, Split definitely an interesting one. For sure. Personally, my lowest win rate map this act, but I can respect you liking it.
Yeah. I have been known to play a lot of Cypher, and there are some pretty I wouldn't say that there are a ton of tricky spots on this map, but there's just so many spots that you just never really know what to expect when you are attacking into a Cypher on this map. And because of that, I've had just a lot of fun and generally have done fairly well, especially on defense on this map.
Absolutely, and Split also one of those maps that does lean pretty defender-sided. The Sentinel role on that map, quite fun.
A lot of very, very, especially towards the B site, just narrow choke points that you have to force your way through. A lot of Sentinel utility can make that incredibly challenging. For that reason, I do also feel that the Heaven control side of the B site is very, very important when figuring out where you want to attack, because not only can you make your way into the defender's spawn, which can open up the map for you, but also it does give you a more open space for working with when approaching and getting into that B site as opposed to the garage entrance, which can often be a lot trickier.
Absolutely, that is very true. As a Cypher main, what do you think of the nerfs?
I will be honest, I have not played recently enough to have a strong opinion on them. So it has been a little while since I have played. I've just been busy, so I don't know yet if I have a strong opinion one way or another.
Absolutely. From what I've seen, they haven't affected his viability all that much. I will be quite interested to see if we get a deadlock on this map from either team.
That could also be quite fun to see. There are definitely a lot of angles that you can use on the Deadlock Ultimate as well that are just really easy to catch out, because a lot of the times you're funneling multiple players through certain choke points, and it's almost guaranteed that you're going to hit at least one. And if the team wants to go for the rescue on that, then they again have to expose themselves in a spot where you can spray them down with something like an Odin that we saw a lot of on Haven, or just any sort of thing like that, which could make it very tricky again, once again, for attacking.
Absolutely, and I would not be shocked to see Asa with that Odin once again on Split. All right, looks like our players are taking a quick break. We will be right back to get into the second game. All right, we are back here on to Split. Let's see what comps these teams have in store.
Hey, look at that. The first agent locked in is a Cypher on the side of UW here, and then another one being hovered on the other side. What fun.
And Asa on this Cypher, I'll be excited to see if he picks up an Odin here. Looks like we've got that raise for both teams. No shocker there.
Yeah, Ray's, again, an incredibly strong agent here on this map for the same reason. Not only do you have a very quick, easy way to enter sites using Ray's satchels, but also her utility is extremely good at breaking some of the Sentinel utility on the other side, no matter what Sentinel you may be choosing. Again, really, really good for clearing up entries to sites and making that getting through those choke points just a little bit easier.
And looks like Benny not hovering an agent here, but UW is missing an initiator. I'm excited to see which one they'll pick. Kazodi hovering ISO. This could be interesting. And Benny leaning towards Sky. There seems to be some discourse about what Kazodi will be playing. But looks like it will be Astra.
Yeah, and the only real difference that we're seeing here between the two sides is that we do have Sailor on the Viper compared to the other side did pick up the Jet as that different option there. Again, for the same reason as Ray's, a very good option here on Split, in that the greatest way to break through defense a lot of the times on this map is to just go fast and go hard. And Ray's and Jet are both very good at getting onto specifically the A site, like extremely fast when they are on attack, which can often throw off defenders and whatever setups they might have prepared for defending that site.
Absolutely. And again, this is both teams' strong half. Nebraska does have
goes
a
here.
bit of a aggressive comp, while
goes there.
UW has more of a defensive one. That Viper can essentially
Yes.
function as a second sentinel.
Yeah, especially
this is a
especially
nice
over on that B site, if you have any sort of, specifically if you have your ult up, it's incredibly difficult to get anything done over there. And again, on the A site, really, just that Viper pit providing a lot of value if you are trying to, like, push people away from the site that you are on.
They do know there is presence A, but will they check this ramps?
A little bit of fire did hit the sky there through the smoke, so she's looking a little low on health right now.
And they are up ramps. Both skies are
My
1
eyes are
HP.
Cage triggered.
Asa hunting around. Nebraska backing off of ramps in heaven in favor of sight.
One
Benny does
enemy
secure the
remaining.
sky.
Spike down A.
And Elijah closing it out with 3.
So I think that
3 kills,
both
3
sides
HP.
did a very good job there in their own rights. So I think that the side of Nebraska did a great job of working together. We saw that as the Cypher was hiding behind that tiny little, like, it's not a box, I don't know what to call it. And just, you can barely not see them, but the other Cypher was watching that as his teammates were walking up and trying to take the site. On the
This
same
goes
time,
here.
UW went
Yes,
with a slightly
this should
different
do.
approach in that they were so spread out, but still in positions where they could back each other up. And being as spread out as they were able to really just come back after what initially looked like might not have been the best situation for them.
Yes, and I think Nebraska, slight misstep by not continuing to push heaven there. They did have all that space on ramps, which they opted to give up, allowing Elijah to come through and secure the 3.
Excellent raise grenade here as well. Had to force them forward in a position
Last
where
player
they could
standing.
take the gunfight.
Spike down mid.
Sailor
Sailor
with
once
2
again.
on that Ares.
Yeah, we saw that last game as well.
And it does look like UW has reclaimed the Phantom. And Benny closes it out with just a ghost in hand.
I think it's important to note that we also did see the regen shields on every member of UW last round, so even the ones that were injured are going to be coming into this round with the effectively slightly discounted light shields here because of the fact that they're saving that extra 150 from having to buy light shields 2 rounds in a row.
Absolutely. Very good idea from UW there.
Right there.
Not having to buy shields in this bonus round. Lurking up into this Viper smoke.
Oh, there were a few people there.
Benny does secure the shot onto Raze, taking down one of their tool duelists.
A lot of utility down really early in the round here, though, by both sides.
UW comes out with numbers. Now that they are up, they don't need to overly aggress. Although they are outgunned, numbers is a huge advantage for them here. Elijah going for some spam. Does collect some damage.
Better luck next blocking vision.
Kazodi with
Critical
1.
pick.
The sky for Nebraska is
Taking that back.
1 tap. Kazodi seems very
seconds
aware that Nebraska is sitting in garage. They will commit to B. Benny with 1.
Enemy remaining.
And Kazodi closing it out with a 3K.
Yeah, just excellently done there from Kazodi, walking up into the smoke that they had placed aggressively on the attacker side, and just being present and waiting for some of the picks to come through, them not to be aware of the fact that the Zoe was in that position. I really liked where the sky was at as well, because that was just an amazing angle that they were taking right there, as they got that first initial pick and then were traded immediately afterwards. But just an excellent spot to be in there.
Absolutely, and a wonderful bonus round for UW. Will send Nebraska back to a save here. Elijah securing that first blood and collecting quite a bit of damage here. Just missing his second. Getting out of there.
To reposition.
Yeah.
Now they don't know that they all pushed up already.
They will need to clear main.
Spike planted.
Now they have it.
And that's 2 for Elijah.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, just an excellent job there from UW. They were able to collapse from all angles there. They had one person up above, they had one person coming from screens, they had one person coming from the attacker side, and just, man, they were just everywhere on that. And in a position where, when you're at the back of the A site there, it's relatively open-ended, and oh my goodness.
You heard it here first. UW Esports, we heart feet.
That's quite the team play there from UW, putting that one together.
Yes. Shows our coordination as a team. So this is a bit of a steamroll to start with here. 4-0 for UW. 4 players. An operator online. 4 players for Nebraska. Only have 1 kill in these 4 rounds. And there's Benny with that up, collecting the first blood.
And I really like the fact that it was initially the bird that came through at the very, very start of the round. Again, I feel like that's very strongly underestimated a lot of the times, because getting that early info on, oh, the attackers are here, just from getting the blind out, is just really, really critical for determining how many members you want to put where on.
And a flawless round for UW. That was a bye round for Nebraska. Unfortunately, their bye round could not save them.
Be interesting to see if UW chooses to get a little bit more aggressive here, as they're up 5-0 at the moment.
Elijah does have this showstopper online here. Might try and hit a clip.
Grenade!
That's
Could be
gonna
the
do a lot
plan.
of damage. Yes. Wow, that was an excellent job there, combining the flash with the grenade to put them in a very tight spot.
If I'm Nebraska, I am not hitting this B site. Got an op posted up along with Elijah.
Poison orb emitting.
The remaining 2 players for Nebraska sitting mid.
1 enemy remaining.
And Sailor gets a beautiful 4K there.
Just an excellent job of playing around that orb and being in, like, moving to different sides of it after each pick there. Being able to initially walk up and get that tiny little gap of vision and see that, oh, nobody's walked through here, so there must be someone somewhere on the other side of this. Dropping it, getting the flick, and then again putting it back up later and just moving around it in a way that is just unpredictable for the other side.
Exactly, and Viper, such a powerful pick here on this map.
Get out of my
That
way.
orb and that wall make it very hard to take space. Showstopper is out for both sides. They
And
trade
they
each
got
other.
each other. What a very raised thing to do.
Yes.
The pit is out too. Ooh, that's spiked
Spike
down.
down mid.
Elijah saying, well played. Acknowledging perhaps that great minds think alike here. Benny with this up.
1 enemy remaining.
Does find the sky in vents. does hear the second one in vents. Whiffs the shot, but Asa is there to close it out.
I like the idea of intentionally making noise there and knowing that you're facing an op. Especially since as a jet, when you have your movement abilities, it can also throw off the timing on when you are peeking. And we did see that that shot was missed. Ooh, a little bit of health there gone from the Cypher. But that shot was missed initially, but the teammate in position to clean things up.
That should wet.
Sailor 11 and 1 here.
Concealment. You are divided. Idiot.
Kazodi with 2, a Colat with both duelists going down for Nebraska.
The Cypher was also healed by the Sky at the very start of the round from that fall damage, just to make sure that everybody is starting at that full HP threshold to continue to push this lead.
Sailor, a little bit greedy here with the shorty.
I have mad respect
down.
for that
I know
play.
exactly where you are.
One enemy remaining.
Nebraska trying to get their first round here. It'll have to be an ace if he wants to do it.
Safe? Not that scary.
And unfortunately will fall to the op in the hands of Benny.
Yeah, I really like that UW had one person behind. They had the operator watching the primary entrance to the site from the defense side, and then they had the more aggressive play from behind with the rifle, being prepared to either force the one-on-one from the weak side of the attacker or walk into the op. Like, there's not really a great option for you there, and you have to take one or the other. Unfortunately, did not work out well, and just got caught in a bad spot and taken down by that operator.
Again, 8-0 here. Going very well for UW. Or mid.
Grenade! Satchel out.
Elijah trying to get out of there. Get out with his life.
Doing an excellent job using the satchels to reposition and make sure that he stays safe as well.
Elijah collecting a heal. Back up to 100 HP. 4v4.
Jet's grounded.
Elijah, amazing shot there onto the jet.
Control of mid, full control of mid on the side of the attackers here could make things a little bit trickier. Astrowall does come down.
Elijah has a timing here. Kazodi does not hear the drop. Bomb will go down.
Spike planted.
I've got your trail.
Oh, and just a really unfortunate timing there for Elijah.
Yeah, the wall dropped there right as he was about to go through it, and unfortunately did provide an opportunity for that counterplay. You do have the operator, but there's not really any reason to like save per se, as they should all be at full recon at this point with the 8-0 lead.
Benny collecting one off that op. Running a bit low on time
Good
here.
spot to
Player
defuse here.
standing. One enemy remaining.
Last is Heaven,
Why did I sign up for this?
but Benny doesn't have the time. And Nebraska will put their first round on the board here. It does, however, take them all 5 players to do it, so quite an expensive round for Nebraska. UW, no problem. Their economy is set for this half.
Yeah, even
But
with
Nebraska-
the win, we do see some light shields in place there, which isn't exactly what you want after a round that you've won. But again, at least they're thankful that they took the round and that they're relatively well equipped going into this round.
Poison orb emitting.
Absolutely. Sailor going for some spam through the smoke. Looks like a true
Here.
default here. Probably leaning towards A for Nebraska. They will smoke to cross.
Cage triggered.
Asa does have this cam. Util pushing UW off of Heaven. Benny will be stunned by the dog. Cam does tell them that there are some up heaven. Elijah, quite wary of vents.
One less.
Benny takes down Cypher there.
Spike down A.
Yeah, this op is putting in the work for UW.
One enemy
Elijah
remaining.
does make a sound on accident.
30 seconds left.
Yeah,
And
that was a
unfortunately
little
will
unfortunate.
fall. It is still if 2v1 and they do have bomb.
Charlie, I face one.
Kazodi is scaring me a little, but securing that kill.
Again, like, there was just no way for the attackers on Nebraska's side to know exactly where Kazodi was. They didn't have any information, and so they were mostly concerned about the operator, which they knew was likely more down on the site watching that entrance up into heaven. But again, not expecting Kazodi to be watching from effectively the same angle, except being up in the upper portion instead of down on the ground.
Yeah, and a bit of a high risk, high reward spot for Kazodi there, being vulnerable to pretty much every angle.
Obscuring vision.
They didn't catch that they're on the site already.
The showstopper will go out. And it will be a Rosa ult, doesn't catch anyone on UW. Kazodi just
Spike
missing.
planted.
Ooh.
And a good timing there from Nebraska. It is a 2v5. Numbers favor Nebraska.
One down.
Last player
You see the
standing.
operator? Oh, not quite. Got the first one, wasn't able to get the second one.
And it will be a thrifty from Nebraska.
Last round before the switch.
I really liked what they had to offer that round, particularly with their use of the sheriffs. The first pick coming through in mid of all places, after they had already been well into taking the site. And again, I feel like that even threw UW off a little bit, as they then had an extra threat in a part of the map that they weren't exactly expecting that threat to emerge from. And as they were kind of bouncing between the two parts that they needed to watch, the other sheriff comes through and does get the double headshot, cleaning up two more members and giving them the advantage that round.
Elijah does find one off the showstopper. Very low HP, needs a heal.
Yeah, did about 40 damage to himself there. So going from about 60 to about 20. But it did secure the kill, so it was ultimately worth it. Again, an excellent job using the satchels to initially get away, and then once again, after the showstopper came through, to back out in case there was another member there.
Found one.
One enemy
One
remaining.
Ooh, great
Benny
timing.
with
Spike
two.
down B.
Think that's it.
A great round from UW there. Even with their Cypher falling on B
Switching
site,
sides.
still managing to close it out with some great timings off of the Sky ult.
Yeah, you could see that Nebraska was backing away from the pressure that was coming up from the heaven side of the site. And then Benny made the wraparound, and just with excellent timing while they were both walking backwards and watching. Again, it's nice not to have your back to where you have the perceived threat from, but again, there was a secondary threat that was able to pick them up. Both, well, neither one saw it happen, so they were both facing the opposite direction.
Absolutely, and this is the half here. 10-2, UW has the lead.
I dropped the spike.
This is both teams' weak half, with Nebraska being double duelist and UW being single duelist, double controller with one of them being a Viper. Benny finding some damage off of that random spray through the smoke. Does he reaggress? There is a shorty waiting for them. Opts not to reaggress.
Ooh, critically, that did not give any info because they did look away from the blinds. So they don't actually know if the sky is still there or not.
Looks like UW is leaning towards a fast hit onto this A side here.
Heal up, squad.
Missing a couple shots there, but Benny was there to back him up.
This is a 2v3. UW is down numbers.
Spike planted.
And this is another situation where I think it's critical to get out of the back of the site here if you are on the attacker side. It's pretty tricky actually to play from these positions, knowing, especially so when you are outnumbered.
Absolutely. The play here should be to force a 1.
Last player standing.
Just Benny alone.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one. 17 HP, very low.
Play a little
Time
ring
is
around the rosy
ticking.
here.
Seems to have the read that he is not on. Not a lot of time left. Will need to stick it.
Ooh, and the right click unfortunately just did not pay off there.
But I think there's no time. And it will be a clutch from UW Benny, securing that 1v2 there. And again, you can see Benny has the hot hands this match, 20-6.
Definitely. Really heads up as well to understand that, like, there's no way that he's defusing it right now. And just being patient enough to back out and not even go around either side of the big pillar there, but just stay behind it and just stay behind it and wait and wait. Just a very heads up play.
Yeah, a masterclass in patience from UW Benny there. 13-2. If they secure this round, this will be match point for UW.
Grenade.
Elijah with the first.
Concealment.
Kazodi with 1. Sailor with 1.
One enemy remaining.
Bit of a scuffed engagement there, but does go the way of Kazodi.
Oh, here
Isa
comes
Flawless.
secures the knife.
Yeah, they were. UW was coordinating that one, and we know they were. We could see it in their eyes.
Asa securing that knife kill, hitting that Cypher diff.
I will say it was an excellent use of utility to open up the round. The Sky Dog coming through and getting the tag on the Jet, combined with the Raze utility and ultimately the gunshots coming through to finish it up. Get that early pick on the site. And then from there, we did see a little bit of trickery coming out from Nebraska, trying to kind of creep up on them to see if they could get the return pick, but it did not end up paying out for them and gave UW a huge advantage in the round.
Looks like UW going for 3 up mid and 1 on either site.
Careful now.
Asa will fall, giving first blood to Nebraska.
Great timing there from Sailor Steve. Come up behind a couple of them.
Taylor
There's
does
one.
find one. Benny wary of vents. Oh, and unfortunately will get double swung with 1 on the rope and 1 in heaven. Just Kazodi and Sailor left. Knows
Sailor's
there's
still in
3
a really
site.
dangerous position though.
Indeed.
Toxins going up.
I think
Could
this
find
round
it.
will come down to this timing right here.
Last player standing.
Ooh, a little unlucky there to have the knife out and drop with noise. It's the second time that that little space there has gone and betrayed
30
UW
seconds
this
left.
match.
Indeed, and just Kazodi alone. Might just try and get bomb down here. Get the money from the plants.
Planted.
And then proceed to
Obscuring
1v4.
vision.
I've never seen Kazodi lose this.
I haven't either.
That's 1.
Well,
And he
I
will
have now
fall.
seen Kazodi lose this. It was a little
Valiant
inevitable.
effort. Yes.
You got your one.
Was that important?
It is still a match point for UW. 12-3.
A little bit of like awkward numbers there. You should be able to get the full buy all the way through on the side of UW. We do still see some light shields on the other side. Not exactly ideal, again, when you're on match point. But taking some Guardians, a couple of Guardians to kind of account for that, and just a slightly cheaper option with an almost equal amount of power.
And definitely Nebraska doesn't really have a choice here. Needs to force up as much as they can. Clearing out vents and heaven here.
So 1-for-1 trade there, but this does open up the B side quite a lot for the side of UW. So I do think that the 1-for-1 is slightly in their favor at this point.
It also does take away the heals from Nebraska. We will take down the trips. Again, another 1-for-1 trade.
A lot of spraying through this cages here.
One enemy remaining.
UW, 3-1.
You
They
want
do
to
have the
fight
Astro
it?
ult up too, and they
Oh.
don't end up needing
Attackers
it.
win.
Benny decides to end it fast. All right, what an amazing match from UW. Super fun one to watch. So congrats to UW, our winners for tonight. That means that UW Esports will take the 3rd place spot in the BEC West playoffs. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for the BEC Valorant 3rd place match and for hanging out with our production crew, players, and talent. Remember to check us out at University of Washington Esports on YouTube, Instagram, and X. You can also join the Discord if you're interested in volunteering with us behind the scenes. Have a great night, everyone, and thank you for watching.